Good day everyone, I'm Eliza. Today I'll be sharing with you my Semester 1 final year project in Master of Architecture on tropical high-rise dwelling in Kelana Jaya. The aim of the studio is to explore and question the possibility and problems that came with high-rise dwelling in the city. What does it mean to design in a tropical high-rise residential building? And what are the flaws of current models and what have been done right in the precedent? Taking a look into the context of Kelana Jaya, Kampung Chempaka was the first settlement that housed thousands of families. With the expansion throughout the years, urbanization have taken the role to house for malls and multiple high-rise residential buildings around the site. The proposed site is an island site with a built-up area of 4,866 square meters, with the plot ratio of 1 to 10, 60% of plinth area, and a total of 11,000 square meters gross floor area. The site is sandwiched between a distinct characters of commercial and residential area, followed by a flyover with Paradigm Mall, with the site potentially act as a catalyst which seamlessly connects the two districts together. This then forces us architects and designers to rethink the future of tropical high-rise dwelling, as there is an increase of the world's population migrating into the city and CBD area around the world. A vision of a town's fast-paced urbanization swept away a sense of origin, a sense of recollection of an event, and a sense of place. Where the older generation is pushed to the edge of a town, leaving a disconnection from the outside world. Where the young generation, however, is going away to thrive and chase their ambition, but the living conditions are somehow overlooked, and the sense of what a home is defined is lost. And the desire to belong to a community is strangely overpowered by the fast-paced surroundings, leaving little opportunity for both generations to dwell. This then drew me to the attention of our Feeder Street neighborhood to get a grasp of the findings of a sense of place. So this is Teresa Lim, the chief of Kampung Chempaka, where I was fortunate enough to conduct an interview with her, where she shares her vision of keeping the spirit of fading village of a Kampung Chempaka and into the lives of upbringing of the locals of mixed generation and observing their day-to-day activities. This then prompts the question of the issue of how I can connect these two generations in a way that allowed them to come together again and celebrate their generation as a statement in the current context, and allowing past buyers to see the once forgotten and neglected collective memory of generational interaction thrive once more. My design approach then started off by observing the mixed typology of feeder neighborhood of Kampung Chempaka and the surrounding site context with scattered and no clear differentiation of frontage and back, which reminded me of a kampong dwelling. To explore the way living and the life of kampong, I picked up our local Malaysian Kampong Boy comic book to understand the essence of it, and understanding various arrangement of a kampong as well as the inner layout, where the circulation is always part of the external space. A kampong house is honest and unpretentious, where a home should be a base where you feel comfortable physically, socially, emotionally to recharge your energy and soothe the soul. I then doodled and sketched my vision of creating a tropical high-rise dwelling through a collective celebrations of generation of integrated living, togetherness, and the generations of stories to be told. The brainstorm process started off with a quick sketch to implement the ideation of a kampong in the vertical typology. Here is my preliminary idea imagination of how do I replicate the horizontality of a kampong to create a sense of scale into a vertical neighborhood, where physical models are explored to get an overview of a scattered layout of a kampong spirit, emphasizing on the human movement and opportunities for units to view in all directions. To blur the boundary between horizontal and vertical, each residence will have their own private courtyard space on a tropical high-rise dwelling. I then further explore the inside and out of the architecture by inserting a kampong house into the pocket space to give a sense of a character between old and new, where the veranda space along the circulation then forms as a threshold of informality of private and public to interact. The ideation and exploration expansion of community to create space for chance of encounter with people to mingle and make a meaningful connection, with the semi-outdoor space created in different modules in allowing activities to flow out to encourage users to step out of their living boxes and allow a realization of what can the weather bring to them through the circulation of space. Where a home is a space for growth, where one enjoys the space and ages with accumulation of memory through interactions and presence of each other, where harmony take place and social contact happen. Introducing the Hideout, a recollection of a kampung dwelling. This is the view to sight from Paradigm Mall to the Hideout, and this is the view of the corner hawker store with a linking bridge to the dwelling itself. Sustainable design strategy is considered, where the orientation of the building is oriented in 15 degrees to enhance the ventilation and sunlight. Additionally, implementing solar tube as a free lighting, green roofs, big overhangs with double roofs with skylight to maximize the thermal comfort and adapt to what the climate has gifted. As the dwelling is designed of an open concept with the play of a push and pull effect on the unit arrangement, all habitable rooms have cross and stack ventilation to adequate ventilation for circulation and common space to take advantage of. The unit relation of the dwelling are break into 4 modules, where there's a transition in every 3 floors to create a familiarity sense of change in scale. Here's an overview of the space between levels to show how the circulation flow from the ground above. With the total of 12 floors, the floors from 1st to 6th floors are repeated on the floors above, which house for generation living with various demographic user groups, from old to young. When designing a tropical living, one should learn to enjoy the weather. And the urban linking bridge that connects the 2 blocks serve as a circulation of informal activities to occur. The open plan on the ground floor forms a concave adjacent to the site, but the arrival opening path that networks along the concave form is expanded to the surrounding community, with the intention of connecting with the surrounding neighborhood. A public space and park for programs overflow from the eatery nodes, along with double volume space, provide constant sight between inside out as users move about. Due to the lack of green on site, park created serve as a lawn for the community to create a balance between work and living. A shared space for residentials and public to have a chance of encounter to form a community. Taking inspiration from kampung, cantilever pondo is created in every floor of passageways and lift lobbies to provide sitting space and also informal interaction to occur, and to provide visual connection to the linking bridge of floors above and below. From the plan, the units are designed in staggered layout to accentuate the human movement, which echoes the informality of a kampung layout on a horizontal typology. Instead of shunning away from the tropics weather, we should be more sensible to the environment and the weather to learn to enjoy it. Hence, terraces in the units are in every corner to open up the internal space, where it creates an informal extension for activities to flow out, which connects users to the weather outside instead of closing in. The extended deck provides an informal activity to occur at the same time providing visual connections to the community park and the deck, and a space for residentials to unwind and interact. The first floor is designed with the idea of flexible home office space for white collars on site, which breaks away the transient character and allowed chance of commuting work at home. It is dedicated for self-employed individuals to operate their entrepreneurship from home with additions of studio and loft units to rent and live closer to their office. Floating tea house is extended from the linking bridge to create a zen atmosphere for users to relax and meditate, with the play of contrast to the surrounding urban context. Groups of pocket communal space is maximized at the internal level for smaller clusters of housing units throughout the vertical neighborhood, allowing groups of various user groups to spontaneously gather to create an aspect of a horizontal human engagement of a kampong life integrated in the vertical high-rise dwelling. Family units are also designed in the vertical dwelling to accommodate a multi-generation living, which was inspired by the borough site of Kampung Chempaka, where families living together under a roof to develop a high level of attachment and closeness, pass on family traditions, and benefit from interacting with one another, and allow assistance to elderly with care and support. Through the analysis of kampung dwelling, the movement behavior of kampung cempaka, the design is internalized with the culture into the proposal, which will be reflected in the corridor and circulation space of a high-rise dwelling, where the passageways as connection in every floor double as a platform serving as opportunity for social interactions between neighboring community. But the idea of a central atrium space is to create a constant engagement with the building residents whenever one is entering or exiting from the dwelling. The concept of a loft unit is inspired from the kampong layout. Similarly, the level below serves as a gathering area for entertainment, followed by a more semi-private space of kitchen and bedrooms on the floor above. Additionally, a kampong toilet are separated with the internal activity which was integrated in the unit design as well. In relation to the tropics climate, each unit is integrated with a breathing facade to increase the shading and also reducing the heat gain. The building envelope of a tropical high-rise dwelling mainly uses louvered panels which further enhance the sustainable performance of material. A circulation space is designed like a backyard experience in mind, where the unit's entrance are presented on the floor below, allowing users to roam around the common space freely without any disturbance of passers-by. The roof mimics the landscape of a hill and blurs the separation of units to create a hierarchy of privacy, and the design is to create a nonchalant experience of staggering and slow the movement pace of users to relax, unwind, and observe its surrounding context. To conclude, I believe that each generation is shaped by age location where people are shared by important events that occurred during their lifetime. Hence, proposing this horizontal typology of a kampong dwell concept into a vertical high-rise dwelling gives an unprivate living at play to form a close-knit community, which then creates a meaningful relationship within its surrounding and people. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.